Hey everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. Today in the shop we have a 2008 Jeep Wrangler with some electrical gremlins. Customer complaint is the radio doesn't work when it's cold outside. Interesting. The front windshield washer doesn't work, and the power locks usually don't work. Sometimes they kind of work. So let's get into this thing, scan it for codes, look up some diagrams, and diagnose these three issues. So this Jeep has about 160,000 miles on it. And did a full code scan. Let's just see what the codes are. Lost communication with radio. So the radio is an aftermarket unit, JVC, and it seems to work at the moment. It's about 70 degrees out. He said it needs to be colder than 60 degrees out, so we won't be able to reproduce the battery or the the radio problem. Let's see what else is stored. Implausible vehicle configuration data, lost communication with radio, obviously. Tire pressure sensors missing, lost communication with TIPM, and battery voltage low, lost communication with radio and the amplifier. So, okay, let me clear all these out. These codes have nothing to do with any of our issues. And then we'll verify the other customer complaints. Alright, so all the codes are cleared out. Let's try the windshield washer. So if he says pull, no action, the wipers do come on. So the wiper motor works, the washer obviously does not. Power locks. I heard something click. No click going down. So if I manually lock it and I pull up, so unlock seems to work. Lock is not working. Let's try this one. Unlock seems to work. Lock does nothing. We try it from the key fob. Let's see, unlock. So definitely unlocked and lock. You can see the instrument cluster, the turn signals flash, but no lock action. So we're missing the lock feature of the power locks. Okay, so let's, while we're here, we can look at some live data. I think this Jeep has a TIPM that controls everything in the body, wipers, you know, locks, windows, whatever. And then we'll look up some wiring diagrams and do circuit checks. Alright, so here are some useful data PIDs in the TIPM or BCM. So we have the driver's lock or unlock switch, so I'm going to push it down. All doors locked. All doors unlocked. In the passengers, so for some reason these do not change, but the all doors unlocked or locked does change. I'm going to pull the washer. Okay, so front washer request is true. So it's definitely not an input problem here. It's going to be an output problem from the TIPM. Next step, wiring diagrams. Alright, so on all data we have the OE diagram for the power locks. And what can we say? Well, the electronics in here, it's all integrated. Here's the power lock for the driver's door. So if the unlock works fine and the lock feature does not, what can we say? Right off the bat, it needs a TIPM. Because if one circuit's good, you know, current going one way, the continuity is fine, the wiring is fine, but going the other way, nothing. We're done. We don't need to check anything else, fuses, wires, connections. This thing needs a new TIPM because everything's integrated. So that was kind of my suspicion, unfortunately. Now let's move on to the washer. Alright, for the washer control, we can see there are 2 fuses, and everything's controlled from the TIPM, the wiper motor and the washer motor. So let's check fuse J20 30 amp and J21 20 amp. Make sure those are good, and then we can go to either the washer itself and check if there's continuity through here, if there's a power feed when we enable it, even bidirectionally, or pull the switch. This thing does not have a rear wiper. It probably did, but the rear is modified, so it does not anymore. And this motor spins one way or the other way to force fluid into the rear or the front, nozzles. So let's go to the TIPM. Alrighty, here's our lovely TIPM. Fuse J21 for the washers is right here, 1, 2, 3, 4th one up. 20 amp looks beautiful, as expected. So we'll have to lift up the TIPM itself and check the connections underneath. I expect those will be just fine. It's going to need a fuse box. No way around it, really. Alright, so for the washer, front washer pump motor control, C3 pin 25 on the TIPM. So we need to figure out which connector C3 is, and on this location diagram it's going to be this one right here, and the pin out for C3 pin 25 is going to be this bottom left corner, and it's going to be a brown wire. So let's go find that. What I want to do is just feed power to it right here, and if the washer comes on, we know the whole circuit's good. The TIPM just can't provide the power. Alright, so at the TIPM, this is connector C3. Here's the brown wire on pin 25. I'm just going to play it safe and put a 5 amp test light from battery positive to that wire and see if the washer motor will kick on. Let's see. Short to ground, or we need more amperage for this wiper motor. Alright, so the washer motor looks like it lives right here. And we have a brown and maybe a brown and yellow going to the wiper motor. And let's try this again. It's still grounded, so I think both of those circuits might be grounded until we enable it with the scanner or with the switch. So let's try that. Let me just send 1 amp to that circuit, like so. Or we can even go to battery negative and see if the test light lights up when we pull the washer switch. That's probably the easiest thing to do. So let's do this and pull the washer switch. Obviously no power as expected. The TIPM is dead. Alright, so we need a replacement TIPM for this Jeep Wrangler. I took a picture of the stickers on this TIPM, and it looks like to me it has already been replaced. This is not a Mopar part number. This JKB part number, it looks like a Continental. If we go to TIPMrebuilders.com, this is what comes up. This is their part number, and these are the crossovers. Continental part number. This one doesn't quite match, but by VIN, this is the one. So you can select rebuilt, new, and we definitely want to add the programming fee. So $1,500 for a brand new one, or rebuilt one is about $600 with all the fees. So not the end of the world. I'm going to give the customer a call and ask them if they want me to order this fuse box. So that's kind of a bummer. You got electrical issues. If you need a new fuse box, that's the only way to do it. You can't bypass it. I mean, you probably can, but in this case we have more than one issue, and the fuse box will fix both the locks and the washer. So I think that's the way to do it. Keep everything stock. Once if we get the go-ahead, we'll install it and make sure everything works. But that was a diagnosis. So Chrysler, another Chrysler vehicle, needs a TIPM. Not too surprising, and it's a shame that it's not a cheap fix. Alright, back to the 2008 Jeep Wrangler. It's been sitting here for a week. We finally got the replacement TIPM from Max TIPM Rebuilders. I get in to start it up, it fires up, but my foot gets wet because there's like over an inch of water here in the driver's footwell. But good thing it's not a European car. Fishbowl. I think we can pop, you know, is there a drain that we can pop out here? There should be. Get this floor mat out. I think there's a drain right here. There we go. That's how you drain a Jeep. And there's another one right here. That's a little more efficient. Alright, looks good. Let's pull in the shop. Alright, so old TIPM is out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 connectors plus the main power cable here. So battery's disconnected. Always put a cap on your post so even if the terminal touches it, nothing's going to spark. Let's install the new TIPM and see if it's already pre-programmed and what the calibration procedure is. Alright, so now we want to make sure that the fuse layout is identical to the original. Make sure all the fuses are in the right places, the right values, all these, all the relays. Everything is looking good, everything's checking out. The little fuse holder we can put in the new one. And I think that looks good. We've got an extra 20 amp right here. And that would be, let me just look that up. M4 is going to be trailer tow. So I don't know if this Jeep has trailer tow, but we're going to swap this one over. Like so. Now we are identical. So let's reconnect the battery and see what the reset procedure is. Alright, so soft reset. Do this first thing after installing your TIPM and before starting your vehicle for the first time. You may have to do several soft resets if you continue to see temporary false dashboard warning lights or other anomalies. So just turn the key on and wait 2 minutes. So we're going to do that. Okay. We can even scan it for codes right now while we wait. Make sure the VIN is still appropriate. Let's see. Yay. Washers work. Oh, and let's try the door locks. Lock, unlock. So that's fixed. We definitely made the right call. So now, we have, after the soft reset, we'll make sure there are no codes left. Take it for a test drive. Should be good to go. Alright, so we have a green tree except for the BCM. The BCM has all kinds of codes. These are all stored, so we can do clear DTC right now. It's green. And rescan one more time. It'll probably say lost communication with radio. There's one code. Let's see if it fires up. I'm going to do a key cycle. Key off. Make sure there are no warning lights. I guess you have to hold the key to crank. Okay. It's happy. Lock, unlock, change oil. I don't know if the customer wants me to do that. It looks like we're in good shape. Let's see. Lock, unlock, unlock. Perfect. So that's it. Pretty cut and dry. TIPM fixed both the washer and the power locks, so that's a win for the customer. Again, it's not cheap, but I've had good luck with this Max TIPM rebuilders. Go check them out. I'll leave a link in the description. It has saved several Chrysler vehicles. They run a good business over there, and you send them the core return and they rebuild it, and hopefully it'll help someone else. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.